Yo, what is good, peasants? My name is JB, and I am back here today with my team builder for week 7 of the PCL. This week we are taking on our boy, Shea Quaza, coach of the Dallas Starmies. You should definitely be sure to go check him out. He's on the channel all the time. Whenever we do, just random showdown lives or whatever. Like, yeah, if you guys have been here for a minute, you guys probably know Shea. Anyway, he's a really good friend of ours, and it's always fun when we play. So a little bit of a backstory before we actually get into the matchup or the team or anything like that. I've been playing Shea in draft leagues for probably about a year and a half, and legitimately every time we've played, it's alternated winners. So I'll win, then he'll win. I'll win, he'll win. I'll win, he'll win. So literally every time we play, it's alternating winners. And it just so happens that this time it is his turn to win, according to our history. So hopefully we can manage to break the cycles, as it were, and get a win, because we would really like to bounce back from the debacle that was McGearden last week. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the matchup. Shea is currently rocking a record of 4-2 with a +6 differential, so we have the same win-loss record, but he has a little bit better diff than me. We are not in the same division, and I don't even think we're in the same conference, so it was just like one of those out-of-conference games. And luckily we got matched up against our friends instead of some random person. Anyway, first off, you can see he has the Garchomp, Sylveon, Roserade, the Uxie, Hitmonlee, Brain, Uxie. Probably should have said Brain when I said Uxie. Anyway, got that's Brain. Lantern with Z moves, Protean, Greninja as his S tier, Entei, Kartana with Z moves, Palisand, and Mega Beedrill. So things worth noting about his team: Garchomp, really fast, it's a good rock setter. Decently bulky. Rough Skin's a really annoying ability to have to play around. It hits really freaking hard. Thankfully, it's not a Z user, so that's a little bit of something that's on our side, I guess. It's good to not have to play Z Garchomp. That's a decent offensive matchup. I could definitely see it being like an SD sort of variant or something sort of cheeky with Shea. You never really know. That's another thing. He's probably going to run some wacky stuff with Shea. We always tend to run wacky things against each other. Next up, Sylveon. I am absolutely terrified of Spec Sylveon in this matchup. I have one switch and only two really hard-hitting fairies, as you guys know, and that is Empoleon. So just hard-hitting fairies in general are really freaking annoying against my team. So yeah, Sylveon's a pain in the butt, and yeah, if it's offensive, if it's a Specs variant with like Hyper Voice, Hidden Power coverage, and Shadow Ball, that's really all it needs to put in a lot of work against the squad. Roserade's pretty annoying mon as well. It's a good spike setter, as well as Toxic Spikes. Can hit relatively hard, has really good special attack, decent special defense. It has just a terrible defensive typing matchup against me, so I really don't expect to see it, but it's a decent fast special attacker, so it wouldn't, that's what it is. Uxie, incredibly fat, base 130 defenses, Levitate mon, so that's nice to have for like a Landos pivot if you need it. Foul play is annoying, it's a rock setter. It gets light trio coverage, so fire, electric, ice, gets all of that. Gets U-turn, gets Memento, gets just a lot of annoying things. Hitmonlee is a mon he uses very well because Cowpad is in his front office, so yeah, Hitmonlee is a mon that is going to be used well, and it's going to have a really cool set. I would not be even surprised to see Psychic Seed to take advantage of my own terrain. So, with an Unburden as the ability on Lee. It's fast, hard hitter as well, so that's just kind of what his team is: fast and hard hitting, as well as just having some bulk. So yeah, it's a really good team, as most teams are. Lantern with Z moves. It's a Lantern. It's tier 5 mon. It makes sense why it's. I mean, Z Heal Bell's cool, and like random, Lantern gets some coverage. Lantern gets some things. Like obviously, like I said, Z Heal Bell, Z Stockpile, just to mention a couple. And you can catch something off guard like an Z Ice Beam or a Z Thunderbolt or what have you. It can do some things. Lantern's cool. It's really fat. It's a good check to Zero Aura just by its natural bulk, as well as having Volt Absorb. So wouldn't be surprised to see it. Protean Grin. It's freaking Protean Greninja. It's absolutely disgusting. Stab everything is really annoying. Really fast, incredibly hard hitting, especially with it being Protean. As of recording, I'm pretty sure it's second in the league in kills, so that thing's definitely going to put in some work if it comes, which, spoiler alert, it's a Protean Greninja, it's probably coming. Entei, Another decently fast, decently hard-hitting mon. Yeah, it's an intake, gets stuff like Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed. Doesn't get Earthquake for some damn reason, but hey, feels bad, man. It's a, you know, hard-hitting mon. Can be relatively bulky if you want to run a weird set. I'm not sure how wacky he's planning on getting, but you know, we could do some bulky things if need be with like Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that. Kartana, Z-User, it's a thumbnail mon. It's going to be in a thumbnail. It's going to do something silly. But yeah, Kartana just incredibly hard-hitting. Just a terribly, or rather a terrifying late-game sweeper. It can just clean games because Beast Boost is an ability that exists. Palisand's really fat. You guys know we love our boy Palisand around these parts. Fat, dark, or fat ghost and ground type, excuse me. Shore up so it, you know, has access to recovery. Good rock setter. Gets a, you know, not the best coverage, but he gets like grass for coverage. It's a decent, you know, defensive mon against me. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. And then Mega Beedrill, incredibly fast, incredibly hard hitting, base 145 speed, adaptability with like U-turn and poison jab just hits so damn hard. So yeah, Mega Bee is also a pretty large threat. So let's go ahead and get into the squad that we are bringing. That was a little bit longer than usual, so I do apologize for that. I want to give shout outs to Dorian as well as Diet Tight, who is another good friend of ours, for helping me team build this week. Dai is in the same division as Shay and really wanted Shay to lose this game, so he hit me up, like, yo, let me help you build your team. So I'm like, you know what, I can, you know, get some input from my boy. And yeah, Dai is a really good player, so definitely nice to, you know, have a little bit of extra help once in a while. So yeah, shout out to Dai for helping, and also shout out to Dorian for, I mean, just being Dorian, I guess. At this point, just shout out to Dorian. Anyway, first off, we have Reverberate the Swallow, rocking a choice specs with the moves Boom Burst, Air Slash, U-Turn, and Toxic. So his still type is Kartana. That's his only, you know, I'm using my air quotes here, resist to Boom Burst. Nothing resists Boom Burst on his team, so it makes it relatively free to just spam to our heart's content. We have Air Slash for, you know, secondary stab, U-Turn to pivot out if we don't like the matchup, and then I just decided to slap Toxic on because Kartana dies to Air Slash, so I didn't need Heat Wave, so I didn't really need two moves that miss, and Heat Wave only would hit Kartana, whereas Boom Burst and Air Slash hit everything harder. So I just decided to slap Toxic on it just for lols, and mainly, like, if I can catch Sylveon on a switch in or something like that, that'd be nice. Just something that can hit like Sylveon or Lantern. Basically, I don't foresee myself clicking Toxic. Basically, I just see myself spamming Boom Burst and having a lot of fun. We have speed on this guy for max speed Greninja, and we actually live one uninvested Hyper Voice with the 20 Spadef that we do have. So if he's not Specs Sylveon or offensive Sylveon of any nature, we do live one Hyper Voice, so that's always nice, and we are the superior Remon in that 1v1. Next up, we have Skywalker the Lando T with the Rocky Helmet that moves on Rest, Earthquake, Knockoff, and Sleep Talk. We have a little bit of speed at 68 for Uxie creeps, so we creeped, you know, Uxie with a little bit of speed. So we bit of an aggressive speed creep. So we creeped him, creeping us. So yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. We put a little bit of speed. The Fizz Stuff allows us to live 2 Scarf Leaf Blades from July Kartana, and we 2-hit KO with Earthquake. So we win the 1v1 with Kartana. We take 2 Adamant Banded Sacred Fires from Inte, and we live 1 Ice Beam from Uninvested Lantern, and we OHKO with Earthquake if it's max HP, max Spadef. If it's max HP, max physical defense bold, it does have a chance to live the Earthquake. Actually, it just straight up lives the Earthquake, so yeah, that's really annoying. But yeah, Lando's here is like a solid defensive pivot, as, you know, just annoying his physical attackers with Rocky Helmet chip. And we have Rest and Sleep Talk for longevity, because this thing just, I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Lando this game to be around. And since we don't have recovery or an actual Lish Passer on this team, Rest Talk was the way to go. And EQ Knockoff hits everything neutrally that it needs to hit, and yeah, it just knocks off items and clicks EQ and does things like that. Next up, we have Night King, the Kyurem, for the 3rd week in a row, rocking a Habanberry. The moves are Ice Beam, Toxic, Substitute, and Roost. So this is a really scummy set, and I'm very aware of that. However, this thing puts in the finest of work, just not dying. We have max HP, max Spadef, just to maximize our potential to live hits from a lot of his special attackers. Because the physical attackers on his team destroy Kyurem to an extent that, like, we wouldn't even send in Kyurem against a physical attacker. However, his special attackers on this team really can't do much of anything to cure him. Razorwinds, Yuxi to some extent, Sylveon to some extent. If it's not offensive, like I said, if it's spec Sylveon, we're kind of boned, but if it's defensive Sylveon, it doesn't really do much to us, especially with Roost. Lantern can't do a goddamn thing. Certain Protean Grin sets, like if he's Expert Belt, he can't break our sub with Surf or Scald, and it's Shake Claws, like he's not running Hydro. And Dark Pulse isn't doing a whole hell of a lot to us either. And then Palisand can't do a damn thing. So we basically shut down a lot of his special attackers. And so he's have to run like a pretty specific sort of, like I said, an offensive Sylveon or low kick Greninja is, a thing, and I definitely expect to see low kick this game because I have a lot of things that are fat and like don't like taking low kicks, like the Kyurem, for example, or either of our water types. Spoiler alert, you can see we're bringing one of them. So yeah, Kyurem, basically it's sort of a win con once Entei's gone, and if we can sub toxic things, I will resort to that because I am a scumbag. Next up we have Oliver Queen, the Decidueye with the Cobra Berry, with the moves Defog, Leaf Blade, Hidden Power Fire, and Roost. So the speed is for Sylveon creeping in, just a little bit of speed, and yeah, just creeping Sylveon, creeping me. Basically, this is here just easy Kartana bait. Kartana, thinks it can pretty freely switch in on a grass type, and honestly, it kind of can't. We have Cobra Berry to lessen the damage from knockoff, and HP Fire, even with a minus special attack nature, kills because it's a Kartana, and can any hit from Greninja other than Life Orb, Ice Beam, or Dark Pulse, obviously. Actually, no, it needs Dark Pulse due to Cobra Berry, but yeah. We eat any hit from Greninja other than Ice Beam, and we just put in a decent amount of defensive work. It's our Defogger. If we can get a Roost off and stay alive, that's cool, but other than that, it's basically just here to bait Kartana. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up, we have Ukulele, the Tapu Lele. For, I'm pretty sure the fifth or sixth time. I've only brought non-Life or non-Scarf Lele twice out of the weeks it's came. So, I think I've not brought it to 2 games, so that means 3 out of the 5 games it's come to, it's been Scarf. So, might have to be a little bit careful because I'm getting a little predictable with my Lele sets. Anyway, we are bringing Triscarf Ukulele once again with the moves Psyshock, Moonblast, Psychic, and Nature's Madness. We're running Dual Stab with Psychic. Basically, Psyshock is there as a way to have a check to Calm Mind Sylveon because Sylveon's super annoying. That's why we have Dual Psychic. We have speed for Roserade in case he wants to be a Scarf Roserade. That could be a thing, and it was just the fastest thing we could outspeed since we're running Scarf. Might as well just outspeed the fastest thing that we need to outspeed. And basically the idea is once Greninja is gone, Psychic Spam kind of just wins, and if Entei is gone, Moonblast Spam kind of just wins. So really Scarf Lottie can just, or Scarf Lele rather, can just put in just a ton of work. He does not appreciate switching into this mon. The only one that can really eat hits from this specific set would be a Spadef Yuxi, since I'm not carrying Shadow Ball, but even then I do have Nature's Madness as a way to keep that handled. And then last but certainly not least, we have Oswald the Empoleon rocking a Shuka Berry. So we got a few berries this week. It's going to be a very good time. I told I would say that, so there you go, buddy. Anyway, we have Shuka Berry Torrent, of course, with the moves Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, Scald, and Flash Cannon. So we're a little bit of a strange set. Max HP, max special defense with Rock's 3 attacks. Basically, this is our sort of de facto Sylveon check due to the fact that it's our only Steel type on the squad, which makes it sort of necessary to take hits from said Sylveon. Basically, it gets Rocks, and then we have coverage to hit everything. Dual Stab hits a lot of his team. Flash Cannon is really only there for Sylveon. I was going to be fine with just Scald Ice Beam because that hits everything we did, but Flash Cannon is just a way to deal damage to Sylveon. Like I said, if it's not Calm Mind or not fully Spadef, it can do 25 to 40-ish depending on his spread, so it can do some decent damage depending on what he is. And yeah, it's basically just here to give us a way to switch into specs. Hyper Voice or Hyper Beam even would not be too surprised. We are playing Shayquaza after all. So yeah, that is the squad. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all for the game tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.